Now, I am pleased to welcome President Mearns to the podium.
Thank you, Susanna, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a privilege to serve as the president at Ball State University, and it is my pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker, Dr. Larry Judge. Professor Judge is the 2017 recipient of Ball State's Outstanding Faculty Award. This award recognizes a career of excellence in teaching, scholarship, and service. He is a professor of kinesiology and the associate chair of our School of Kinesiology. He is also the coordinator of our university's graduate coaching program. Professor Judge received his education at Indiana State University, where he was a standout shot putter and where he started his coaching career after graduating with a degree in political science. Professor Judge then coached collegiately for 18 years, moving from Indiana State to positions at universities in Florida, South Carolina, and Wyoming, before coming to Ball State to teach in 2005. Over the course of a career that has now spanned more than 30 years, Professor Judge has built a reputation as one of the top track and field coaches in the United States. He has worked one-on-one with numerous athletes, including Olympians, NCAA champions, and more than 100 All-Americans. His academic accomplishments include co-authoring 4 track and field coaching books. He's published more than 50 articles, and he's delivered more than 200 presentations about strength and conditioning, nutrition, and throwing events, which is his area of expertise. Professor Judge also holds numerous leadership positions in his field, including his service as national chair of the USA Track and Field Coaches Education Program and his past role as president of the National Council for Accreditation of Coaching Education. Now, in addition to his academic career, Professor Judge still makes time to coach elite athletes. In fact, in 2016, he took advantage of a sabbatical to become the personal coach of Felicia Johnson, a shot putter from Indianapolis who competed in the Rio Olympics for our country. He also served as an assistant coach for the U.S. Paralympic track and field team, working in the throwing events, including the discus, the javelin, and the shot put. In recognition of his sports scholarship and his scientific coaching methods, Professor Judge was awarded the USA Track and Field Joe Vigil Sports Science Award in 2016. In 2017, he was also named a Fellow of the National Strength and Conditioning Association. Professor Judge's work has benefited athletes across the United States, and his knowledge and his passion has inspired hundreds of our students. Ladies and gentlemen, and Larry, we are fortunate to have you as our commencement speaker today, and I look forward to your remarks. Please join me in recognizing Professor Larry Judge.
Good morning, and thank you so much for the warm July welcome. Before I begin, I'd like to thank our president, Dr. Geoffrey Mearns, for this opportunity to speak to you today, our graduates and friends. I would also like to thank the Outstanding Faculty Award Committee for this recognition, which gives me the opportunity to address you today. I would also like to thank the students of Ball State University, because without you, no one on this stage would have a job, at least at this university. I'd like to particularly thank Isabella Fuller, Elizabeth Baum, Hannah Janowitz, and Adam Leclerc of Beth Mesner's COM 425 class. They are witnessing the result of their immersive learning experience, which was to help an unnamed professor compose a university commencement address. So far, so good, guys. Lastly, I'd like to thank my mother, Joan, her partner, Joe, my father, the late Ira Judge, my brother, Mike, for the unlimited family support they provide. I know a lot of commencement speakers will say, I know what it's like to be in your seat today, but frankly, I've never been in your seat. I have an undergraduate degree, 2 master's degrees, and a doctorate, all in a variety of fields ranging from political science to sport management. But I never made it to any of my own graduation ceremonies. I was always on to the next big thing, whether it was competing or coaching. So pardon me if I take a moment to savor this ceremony. All the same, I do know what it's like when the strenuous, the arduous, the ambitious, the torturous work is finished. When the research, the writing, the reading, those cognitive calisthenics are a pleasant memory. Pleasant because they are a memory. And you've captured that degree you've been chasing for the past few years. But how can you forget long nights in Bracken, long strolls around the quad, our long history in teacher education, and what about the long lines at the atrium? I know this can be a bittersweet moment, bitter because you may leave your friends and take that degree to the marketplace, but sweet because you successfully persisted in finishing one of the biggest projects you'll ever undertake. When you leave campus, diploma in hand, you can be sure you're going in the right direction. But also know this, if you're not sure where this journey is going, remember, it's all about progress, not perfection. This feels like the right time to tell you a little bit about the journey of one Larry Judge, a journey with all the roundabouts of a drive through Carmel. As introduced, I'm the Associate Chair for Ball State School of Kinesiology, but I'm also a coach. I've coached track and field at 4 different universities during the past 18 years. 9 of the athletes I've coached took me to the Olympics, where they performed on international stages of their chosen events. In fact, they've taken me to every Olympic or Paralympic Games since 1996. That's Atlanta, Sydney, Athens, Beijing, London, and Rio. I have to admit that I've had the luxury of doing what I love, which, by the way, I hope is your destiny too. In my time of coaching all kinds of athletes, I've met some pretty amazing competitors and had some extremely rewarding experiences. It was in 2009, the head of Paralympics, an international event involving athletes with a range of disabilities, asked me to come to one of the Paralympic training camps to consult their athletes. The Paralympian roster includes disabled veterans, arm amputees, leg amputees, double amputees. Many of them compete in wheelchairs. Because I didn't know what the world would be like for Paralympic athletes, I thought to myself, how in the world am I going to coach them? I was absolutely terrified. But then I found that the Paralympic athletes are confident in their own abilities. They just need the coaching, the teaching, the instructing, the encouraging, and the pushing to get them across their finish lines. As I returned time and time again to the Paralympic training camps, the inspiration I was given was astounding. When you meet athletes who are born with an impairment, or were critically injured in an auto accident, or were disabled in military service, it can be quite humbling to watch them so feverishly and intensely accomplish their goals. But this may come as a surprise to you. Most Paralympians don't want to be your inspiration. They don't want to be known for their disability. They want to be known for their ability to compete and train and perform and work and win the goals like the rest of us pursue, like the goals that you'll pursue when you leave campus. The Paralympians I coach are relentless in climbing physical peaks that few would attempt. They live a life committed to the true Spartan experience: blood, sweat, and tears. As we train for weeks on military bases, they stay focused at the most hardcore workouts you can imagine. To be part of this experience, these athletes need to believe in their skills. They need to be adaptable to anything. So let me be your coach this afternoon. Oh, and I'm going to use one of the most revolutionary forms of communication in the modern world. Are you ready for this? Bullet points. Bullet point number 1, stretch, but bend. Reach to find what you excel at, but be adaptable to any new opportunities that come your way. Stretch until you find your niche. Some of you may be well on your way to that niche. Work at what brings you bliss, what makes a difference for others, whether it be your athletes, your students, your patients, your readers, your constituents, or your customers. Everyone has strengths, but why not ride those strengths beyond your normal limits to competencies you haven't developed? Turn weaknesses into strengths. Be ready to stretch. As your coach for today, I'm insisting that you do your stretching. So everybody stand up. All my graduates, stand up for a minute. Stretch your legs. Come on, stand up. All right, have a seat. Bullet point number 2, lead with your strong side. When you graduate from a university, it is only natural to have a fairly general idea about what you want to do based on the degree that you've earned. If you graduate with a degree in elementary education or accounting or architecture, you may think, I can't be a motivational speaker. I can't do consulting. I can't make a business presentation. I can't do anything until I could make it absolutely perfect. But remember, we're talking about progress, not perfection. One of the biggest challenges you'll face is forgetting what you can't do and concentrating on your potential, what you can do. I hope you're not sitting here today thinking that everyone else has their road mapped out turn by turn, and you're looking to the left, and you're looking to the right, and then you're saying to yourself, am I the only one here that can't get the map open? Bullet point number 3, get over it. The Paralympic athletes that I worked with didn't plan to lose an arm. They didn't plan to lose a leg. But in the face of overwhelming trauma, they pushed forward anyway. You too may face a number of hurdles and obstacles and stumbling blocks and barricades and handicaps. You may not land your dream job on Monday or Tuesday. Or you may discover that the degree for which you sacrificed prime and youthful years isn't what you wanted to do after all. But what you do after such setbacks, miscalculations, smash-ups, and mishaps is what really counts. Get over it. Move on. Progress, not perfection. As another famous commencement speaker once said, never give in. Never give in. Never, 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 in nothing great or small, large or petty, never give in. Bullet point number 4, you can't see ahead, but you can plan ahead. When I received my degrees and began to coach and teach, I had no idea that someday I'd be training Olympic and Paralympic athletes. I had no clue that I would spend the most rewarding part of my career at Ball State University. And how would I have known I would be standing here quoting Winston Churchill on commencement day? Graduates, given your latest accomplishment, you have proven that you are a master planner and a successful learner. Now it is time to devote yourself to becoming a lifelong learner. Learning doesn't end with a college degree. You may be heading into a corporate training plan, or a master's program, or a doctoral program, or a trip through the great books of the Western world. Whatever world you hope to explore. As a new grad, you may feel like a lot is expected of you. Yes, to whom much is given, much is expected. But don't plan for perfection. Plan for progress. Plan for what you cannot now see. Keep moving. Keep improving. Someday, you'll look back on this time and wonder if it ever really happened. It's happening, my friends. Embrace it. Embrace your classmates before you part. My final word to you, 2018 graduates, it's time for you to fly. Thank you.